Hey, everybody, and welcome to Pick Army official Pick Reveal Show, Week 14. I'm John. That's Erik. Looks like the Army's spoken. Let's dive in and see what they're saying. Saints -7 at the Eagles. Army likes New Orleans here. Erik, dive in and tell us why, man.
Saints have the best defense in the NFL, and the Eagles are starting a rookie quarterback, not to mention the fact that they have not had anywhere near the success that they had during their Super Bowl run. I agree with the Army on this pick. I don't love it, but I think there is some value at the Saints, particularly -7. Once we start to get into -7.5 and into -8, 8.5, I think the value goes away a little bit. That being said, this is a mismatch, and the Saints really need this game, so the motivation factor is going to be there. They have Green Bay right behind them for that very valuable first-round bye in the playoffs. There's only one this year. I think a motivated Saints team comes into Philadelphia and dominates throughout the entire game. Big agreement with the Army on New Orleans this week.
Yeah, I agree with this pick as well. New Orleans looks really tough right now. That defense is real, and the offense is flying high. Taysom Hill is playing really well in place of injured Drew Brees, who should be back hopefully next week for the Saints. Any concerns with this game at all, man?
You know, a lot of times teams are going to come up and they're going to play hard for a new quarterback, the new QB spike, as they call it. So the Eagles might come out with a little bit of pep in their step, playing hard for Jalen Hurts. That's a little bit of a concern, but there's a real roster mismatch in this game. Not to mention Sean Payton. I'll take him over Doug Peterson any day of the week. So that would be the concern, is the Eagles have a little bit more energy than they've had the last few weeks because of a new quarterback starting, a guy who they might be behind, who might give them the spark they need to win this one. Who knows? So that would be the concern there.
Seattle -13.5 hosting the New York Jets. Army seems to like Seattle in this one. Erik, tell us why.
Well, Seattle's needs this game desperately, and the New York Jets are the worst roster I've ever seen. I've been calling it now for 10 weeks. I think the Jets go winless this year, and so beating up on a doormat, you have to lay a lot of points here, but there's a reason this spread's as big as it is. I am going to disagree with this pick. This is one of my leans, so not one that I feel very strongly about, but if I did have to bet this game, I'd take the points with the Jets, and here's why. Third down offense, the Jets are 31st, right? Getting a first down on third down, but Seattle's 24th. Third down defense, the Jets are 26th in stopping their opponent from getting a first down on third down. Yeah, well, Seattle's 28th. And then finally, red zone defense. Can you stop the other team from scoring a touchdown when they cross your 20? The Jets are 7th. 54% of the time, the other team scores. Seattle, 27th. Almost 68% of the time, the opponent is within their 20. They score a touchdown. So I think the Jets are going to be able to score some points here. I also think a backdoor cover is a real possibility. So I disagree with this pick. I think Seattle is really overrated. The better team for sure, and I don't think the Jets pull the upset. Just too many points, plus 13.5. That's a lot to be giving a professional football team, even one as bad as the New York Jets.
Yeah, I also disagree with the Army here. I agree with Erik and his analysis on that. I think this is going to be a tidy win for Seattle, but 13.5 points is just way too much to give up. Look for a backdoor cover by the Jets on this one. New York Giants +3 hosting Arizona Cardinals. Looks like the Giants are taking the Army's attention on this one. Erik, tell us why.
Yeah, this was one of my official picks. I agree with the Army, especially at the +3 number. I was shocked by it. Kyler Murray's hurt. DeAndre Hopkins is questionable. This is a beat-up Cardinals team that, if not for a Hail Mary pass against Buffalo a number of weeks ago, would be 0-5 in their last 5 games. There's also a coaching mismatch here. I don't like Cliff Kingsbury. I think he blew that game in New England that may actually cost Arizona an opportunity to go to the playoffs. I think Joe Judge really has this team playing hard. And one other stat that I saw here that really popped for me, the New York Giants are on third down defense, allowing opponents to convert only 22% of third downs to first downs over the last 3 games. This is a defense that has a really underrated front four. They're playing really hard. I like the Giants here. I think they dominate this game, and was a little surprised by this line. +3, tremendous value for the home dog Giants.
Yeah, I also agreed with this pick. This is also one of my official picks for the week. New York Giants football team is looking great right now. This team is coming off a nice win last week, being on the road in Seattle. Joe Judge and Patrick Graham really have this defense fired up. They're flying all over the field. They looked great last week If they keep up the same pressure this week, Kyler Murray's going to have a rough week back there. Definitely think the Giants cover this game. Erik, any concerns with this pick at all?
Injuries. Daniel Jones, questionable. He was a full participant in practice on Friday, but then Blake Martinez, who just another tip of the hat to Dave Gettleman, who a lot of us we're pounding on over the last couple of weeks for some questionable, shaky decision-making. And boy, have we been proven wrong. Martinez has been an absolute stud, the stalwart of that new and improving and really tough defense. He was limited in practice Thursday, did not practice Friday, is questionable for Sunday. That would be a tremendous loss for the Giants. So some injury concerns are there, but again, you're not laying points, you're getting points, which makes those injuries a lot easier to tolerate. Daniel Jones is expected to play. He's listed as questionable. Martinez, he is truly questionable. For those backing the G-men, fingers crossed that he suits up.
Kansas City laying 7.5 at Miami. Army likes Kansas City here. Erik, let's dive in and look at this one, man.
Yeah, big disagreement for me on this one, particularly because we're getting the hook over the 7 points at 7.5. Kansas City is a dominant offense, first in yards per play, first in scoring, but there are some things that are a little bit concerning when it comes to Kansas City. For example, Kansas City's defense is dead last in the red zone. They allow more touchdowns when the opponent crosses the 20 than any other team in the league. They also have committed 6.8 penalties per game on average, which is fifth worst in the NFL, and over the last 3 games, they've been the worst. 8.3 penalties per game over the last 3 games. They looked terrible last Sunday night. They didn't get a cover against Denver, a team they should have toyed with. I think just like the Steelers, who got humbled by Washington this past week, I think Kansas City is due to get punched in the mouth here. I think they've been kind of gliding by, and this is the defense that could do it. Miami, first and third down defense, second in points per game allowed. I'm not going to go so far as to call the upset for the Dolphins, but the motivation is here for both teams. Kansas City is playing hard to get a first-round bye. The Dolphins are fighting to get a wild card spot. And there's also a sneaky weather advantage down south this late in the year. A lot of guys, they're not used to that kind of heat and humidity. So while it might feel good when you get off the plane, it is exhausting when you get into the third and fourth quarters. I think Miami keeps this a game. I do think the Chiefs win 3, 4, maybe 5 points at 7.5, particularly with that hook over the 7. Tremendous value on the Dolphins. Big disagreement on the Chiefs. Big disagreement with the Army on this pick.
Yeah, I disagree with the Army here as well. Actually, Miami is one of my official picks for this week. Dolphins top 10 defense, like you mentioned. Chiefs are coming off a very sloppy win last week against the Denver Broncos team, as you mentioned, that they should have mopped the floor with, in my opinion. If the Chiefs play like that this week, I think a backdoor cover by the Dolphins is absolutely attainable. Any concerns with this one at all, Bob?
Well, just with what you said, John, if the Chiefs play this week like they did last Monday night, they're going to get beat. That's how poorly they played, and the delta between what the Broncos are doing, particularly on defense, and what Miami is doing. Miami believes in themselves. They make a run. Now, anything for concern as far as our pick goes, our agreement that the Dolphins are the play, Tua. Tua is a concern here. He is right now not as good a quarterback as Ryan Fitzpatrick is. So you do have a little bit of a downgrade at quarterback, and Andy Reid is a master play caller and can scheme against a guy. There's not a lot of tape on Tua, but he has been limited in his downfield ability, although he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, so that's a good thing. Anyway, that was a whole bunch of nothing. I apologize for not giving a clear, definitive answer. The concern here for Kansas City, as I said, is that they've been coasting. The concern for Miami is a lack of experience at quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's kind of this was one that's hard to kind of come up with a definitive concern, but I appreciate the look in there, man. Well, there you have it. The Army has spoken, everyone. I'm excited to see what comes out this weekend. Thank you to everybody for getting their picks in this week. And please tune in to us next week when we go over when we have our Week 14 recap show. Erik, anything else you'd like to add before we sign off, my friend?
Nothing other than stick with us for the rest of the season on pickarmy.com. We really appreciate you getting your picks in. And for those who haven't joined up yet, we are a crowdsourcing social media site. We ask you to enter your 4 best plays for every NFL week. We then tally up what the group is thinking and give a report like this. It's easy, it's free, and it benefits some great U.S. veterans, charities, AMVETS, the Navy SEAL Foundation, and the Armed Services Arts Partnership. Check us out, www.pickarmy.com.
Well, there you have it, everyone. Good luck this weekend, and we'll see you on the recap show. Have a wonderful day.